This is going to be a good show today, bro. I can feel it in my veins, man. Day after game one, we got so much to talk about. Episode 135. Salute to the NBA fans and junkies, man. You are now rocking with the best. This is the best of 7 Sports Talk. 7 Mitchell, D Money. We in the building, man. We got to talk about last night. D Money, what's happening?
We cooling, bro. We cooling. Look like we just, I might be Nostradamus after this, but we're gonna see.
God, unbelievable game we saw last night, game one, man. Was you impressed with last night's performance? We're gonna get into it in a little bit, but were you impressed overall with the play?
I was, in the sense that Marcus Smart just keeps showing me different levels that he can get to. You know what I mean? Especially as the leader and seeing what he's grown up to be. So, yeah, on that end, yeah, I'm impressed. But we had text messages beforehand. I told you what was going to happen. So
you did.
It's only game one.
It's only game one. You said Boston in 6.
Yeah,
you said Boston in 6. I'm going to go out on a limb with a prediction today that's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow all the fans' minds. So we're going to definitely get into that. Let's start things off, man. Let's kick off in the first block. Kevin Durant, he kind of ripped Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless. He feel like those guys are bad for the game of basketball. And I don't know if he was talking about sports overall, but I know he's talking about basketball. There was a conversation on First Take where they were comparing Steph Curry and Michael Jordan. Some was saying Steph was good for the game. Michael Jordan was bad for the game in a sense. And KD had replied about Shannon, Stephen A., and Skip Bayless. Shannon and Skip responded on social media. Then, they took to their own TV shows today, Skip Bayless included, and responded to KD. When you look at what happened, bro, first of all, was KD right in this situation? Do you think Skip, Shannon, Stephen A., guys like that in the media are bad for the sport?
I'll put it like this. You get in what you put out. You know what I'm saying? If you're able to dish out any type of critique, you gotta be able to take the critique back. And it's like when you can't criticize the athletes 24/7 and then not expect them to respond. And then when they do respond, you want to call them soft. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the information that you're putting out is false or was perceived wrong. You have to at least accept if you feel like the information is false or you something outrageous, you got to get called out for that. And I think, when it comes to accountability, I think the media tries to escape that. So
absolutely,
that's the whole thing. Like the media is always one-sided and we're just supposed to sit there and take it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong about something, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I'm always a learner. I'll always take criticism. But that's the same thing with these media folks. Some of these guys have never picked up a ball. You know what I mean? Never even tried to play the game. But you have so much to say from a wheelchair, from the chair. You know what I mean?
Well, number one, let me say this, D Money. I don't think that just because you don't or didn't play the game that you can't have an opinion on what you're seeing with your own 2 eyes.
No, I feel you. But in the way that they present it, you can tell about certain things, whether it's somebody that's really invested in something. It's okay to be a
or
student.
Some shock value, someone just talking for the views or to get the ratings. I got you. I understand that clearly. I definitely understand that. And the thing with me, though, when it comes to those guys like Stephen A. and Skip and Shannon, I'm not taking away from the knowledge that they do have. I'm not saying that they don't know anything. I don't think that they're bad for the sport or the game of basketball when they talk, only because I identify them for who they are. Like, I don't really look at them for the numbers and the stats. I identify them as being an entertainment value for me when it comes to, the sports realm. I got my own 2 eyes. I can watch the game or I can go on, the internet and check out the numbers and all that. So I don't put that much stock in those guys' opinion. However, I do agree with KD that some people watch television and they listen to Stephen A. and Skip because these guys have been doing it for so long and they feel like their word is Bible.
Yeah, they think it's law and it's not the case. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, because you brought this up. well, we kind of spoke on the media, the media always take that personal. Rob Parker, Skip Bayless, they definitely take it personal when players try to make it seem like because you didn't play the game, you don't know what you're talking about. I just think it's because of their outlandish opinions that they give. It gives more credit to that statement.
And it's a two-way street, right? These guys are paid to make those, those type of things. Like they're paid to make these type of outtakes because, it creates a buzz. They're going to do anything possible to create a buzz because it creates entertainment. I understand that side too. But if you're saying something that's egregious about an athlete or anything that is considered false, the athlete has a right to defend themselves or have an opinion the same way the media has an opinion. You know what I mean? You can't shut that down.
Let's keep it real though, D. Do you think the media you really kind of answering this? I think the media loves this attention. Mm-hmm. I think they love when the players address them and respond to them because it's more storylines. Mm-hmm. It's a new article. It's it's more work for them to do.
It's validated too.
Yeah, and now it includes them specifically. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you have to chase the story. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even consider as being a reporter or a journalist that you would be a part of the story. Now they be chasing that clout.
Yeah.
So just like they try to down KD, calling them soft, they talk about Russell Westbrook, calling them different types of names and stuff like that. I think the media is skipping them. They love to hear players kick back and, shoot back at them because it kind of in their mind validates who they are. I think one of the biggest mistakes Carmelo Anthony ever made not Carmelo. It was Allen Iverson. Back when he first joined Denver, he did an interview with Melo, and he talked about how he always wanted to prove Skip Bayless wrong. And I said, you shouldn't have said that on national TV because Skip going to take that and run with it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the media is definitely can be bugged out. But we have seen this energy from Kevin Durant time and time again. I respect KD because he don't bite his tongue. But do you think that this consistent behavior with KD going back and forth with the media, do you think it's going to affect his legacy any? Because mind you, the media, certain situations, they do have a say in voting for certain accolades, Hall of Fame, things like that. Do you think KD's attitude towards the media could come back to haunt him in the future?
No, the reason why is numbers speak for themselves. And KD has the ability to put up the type of numbers where it's just undisputed.
T.O. said, no, it don't.
Oh, you mean like Hall of Fame?
I'm just saying numbers. You can't say numbers don't. I mean, look, Mark Jackson ain't found a job back since, leaving Golden State. He was a winning coach. I think it's always going to be more than just the mathematics when it comes to, the situation. I could be wrong.
No, I mean, yeah, you got some saying it. I mean, I always talk about some of these like Twitter spaces and these other other sporting debates that, hey, everybody talks about MVPs. I put some type of stock in MVP, but it's a media based award. Right. So it's in a sense it's opinion based. It doesn't make it law. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, it's cool that you have all these guys on your side, and you have the public opinion kind of agreeing with it. Right. But that's not always the case because you're basically taking it upon yourselves to say like, oh, this is the most valuable guy because that's what we think who he is. And it's like, Kevin Durant,
for those who know basketball, we know that this is just him. So it shouldn't affect his legacy at all. But unfortunately, there's so many more people that's becoming into the community of the NBA that's not as knowledgeable and not true to the heart basketball fans. We got a lot of analytics, a lot of people that's trolling, a lot of clout chasing. So what I do have a little concern is that if KD don't win another ring, we already talking about how he's like folding when it comes to him having a team of his own. He's now not going to have the media to back him up on some of the other things that he has done. Like he's kind of cutting off his nose to spite his face. You understand what I'm saying? So even though he's keeping it real, he's putting himself in a box that he must win some hardware, because if he don't, we're going to have 2-3 different big arguments to go at KD when we talk about his all-time greatness.
So he'll be the bad guy. So y'all just turn him into Charles Barkley, basically.
Pretty much.
Everybody needs a bad guy, man. That's just how the society is built off of. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't even look too much into it. You know, especially for something that's just for this year. My problem with the media is they'll take 1 year and then make it your end all, and it's like, come on, bro. That's kind of like when your girl. It's kind of like when your girl be like, "You always do this," and I'm like, "Man, these absolutes be killing me." What? Absolutely. I'm like, always. Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the same thing with the media, man. They like to make a shift away to where it fits their narrative. So if they want KD to be the bad guy, I mean, he kind of really doing his job. He's really coming back at the media. It was the same thing with football. Richard Sherman. Turned him into the bad guy. True. You know what I'm saying? Because he called somebody a scrub because it's basic trash talk, especially you talking to a guy that just did what he did right after the game. Anybody that has played, those are raw emotions. And then
that's facts.
Don't call for raw emotion if you can't handle it once you see it in front of your face.
And so especially if you've never experienced it for yourself, you do definitely have a level of respect for it. So I agree with that, bro, 100%. Let's get into the second block, man, of today's show. Last night, the Golden State Warriors blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. I don't know how this happened. Steph Curry had went off for 21 points in the first quarter.
And what happened?
Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown in the game came back. They stole game one. My man D-Money here said he had the Celtics in 6. I don't know if he predicted what happened last night to happen the way it did. So I need your reaction now, D-Money, from what you saw last night with the Celtics getting the first game.
The reason I really picked the Celtics because even if it would have been the Heat, I would have picked the Heat because the Golden State has not received the pushback that from their conference that I know they were going to get from these guys or be,
you think Golden State had a cakewalk this year?
I'm not saying they had a full cakewalk, but they've never experienced the level of pressure that these guys could put on them. So Memphis is probably the closest to doing that. But the problem is Memphis didn't have the scoring Ja got
hurt.
And then Ja got hurt. So now you got guys like the length and the attitude that Boston has. You know what I'm saying? And I thought the same thing with the Heat. They had the same demonstrative attitude when it comes to defense. When you have guys like that and that can also score, it's a matchup problem. You know what I mean? So
Al Horford got a $5 million bonus for making the NBA Finals. If the Boston Celtics win, he gets another $7 million. And Al is out here balling.
Hey, I've been talking trash because it's his age, but I mean, you got to give it to him. You know what I mean? I always talk trash because I'm a Florida fan. So it was like, man, this man, you know what I'm saying? He's been in the league for some years now. You know what I mean? I was like, I ain't seen him this good since, when he was with Florida and won championships in Florida. So
but wait a minute.
Come on, bro.
Wait a minute, D-Money. I really got to talk to the bosses because what we're not gonna do tonight is dance over where Klay Thompson was last night.
Oh boy.
And what happened to Golden State altogether? Like, how does Steph go off? And I said this after the first quarter. I went to my Facebook group, the Best of 7, and I said, once Steph had went off like that with all those threes in the first and the Celtics were only down by a couple points, I said, that's not even going to phase them. Golden State is going to have to do more. And what happened last night, bro? How did this collapse happen?
You know what it looked like? It looked like, all right, say like a boxing match, right? And say somebody you had never fought before, and you pretty much didn't watch any tape on them. So you just taking the first couple of rounds trying to figure them out. And then once it was the same thing with this. It looked like they were trying to figure out the flow, how they, do things. Once Boston figured it out, you started seeing them switch more, get more in their transitions. They stopped, guessing on things on defense and they started getting more into the passing lanes. After he exploded for that 21 points, what happened to Steph?
I don't know, bro. It's crazy. And then I want to give Steph some props because Jason Tatum last night really didn't have to do much at all. But I'm going to keep it a buck. They in Golden State did a good job of making sure Jason didn't beat him. That looked like to be the assignment from the jump. But I watched Steph sit in that chair and lock Jason down in that first quarter one-on-one like he was in Jason Tatum. Like just little Steph. Like I have to give Steph some props when it comes to his defense. But I will say this when it comes to this game, especially game 2. And I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. But D-Money, I'm going to say it right now. If Golden State loses game 2, it is over.
Man, you Bluetoothing in my head, bro.
I'm telling you. I know people across the NBA community like, what are you talking about? That's only 2 games. But what I witnessed last night and what I witnessed in the post game, the Golden State Warriors, I don't care what they say in front of the camera. They don't respect the Boston Celtics. Not the Jason Tatums and the Jaylen Browns. They don't respect the supporting role. I watched Draymond Green get up in the post-game conference last night, and he talked about all the threes that Boston had hit last night, and he was naming Al Horford, Marcus Smart. And to me, he was saying it like, ain't no way in the world these guys going to get this hot again. Like, he playing these guys with no respect, and I feel like that's the reason why they lost last night. If they lose, they already lost the home court advantage. If they lose both games at home, that clearly shows me they don't respect this team, and you're not going to win beating Boston. So if Golden State loses game 2, it's absolutely over for me. If they somehow even the series, we still have a decent one.
I was going to say that. I said, listen, if they don't win game 2, it's going to be real hard to win in Boston. Real hard to win in Boston. And I was trying to explain to people, like, if you think that these guys are getting hot now, they're away from home, what do you think is going to happen when they are at home? Because they're more comfortable at home. So it's like, okay, what happens then? And then, like I said, what I was telling you about with the defense and how they're switching off guys and they're getting to their spots quicker, just when, you're getting to the shooters faster. So it's not like they're behind. Bruh. If this happens, this is going to be a hit against Steph Curry's legacy. Or I expect it to be the same energy that y'all getting KD. If they don't pull through this game 2 and they end up getting swept, I expect the same energy y'all have for KD, the same energy y'all better be giving Steph Curry, bro.
And I will say this. Because Steph broke an NBA record in the first quarter, and I tweeted as soon as he hit those threes, I said, damn, the second quarter haven't even begun, and Steph is broken the NBA Finals record already. So if Steph keeps putting up stellar performances, win or lose, I don't think he's going to take a major hit when it comes to his legacy. Nobody's going to be able to make him put him in the top 10, no doubt like that. But if they do lose, I think people are going to look at Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins. Jordan Poole was horrible last night. I think you're going to look at the supporting cast and realize that some of those guys are overrated and some of those guys are not really big-time guys. And then I think the pieces will start to fall because whoever you do have a value, you may have to trade and start working some deals. But hold on one second, man. Somebody calling me. Let me try to.
That's not for you. Get out. Get out. All right, we back. Can't hear you.
How about now?
Yeah.
All right, what the hell did I just do with my camera? All right.
We back good.
All right, cool. So yeah, my apologies, but is Jaylen Brown the best Celtic?
Man, listen. They like to sell him as a second string, or not second string, a second scorer. I always try to say it's 1A, 1B. So I think, Jaylen Brown can hit that same level
As Jason Tatum?
Yeah.
But mentally, and everybody thinks they're the best.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm listening to Jaylen Brown talk after the game, it sounds like he thinks he is the best player on that Celtics team. Like he is the guy. Like he talks about how he had to initiate this, that, and the third, and how they kind of worked through him when he was able to get in his rhythm. So I found that kind of interesting.
You're supposed to be that. You're supposed to feel that way, though, just as a player. And it's been like that for years. That's why people thought that they were going to split up eventually because of both of their abilities. I wouldn't be surprised if they do win the championship. I wouldn't be surprised if he try to make it work on his own team. You know what I mean? But I mean, till that happens, it's like this. It's like, okay, how can I compare it? They play so well as a well-knit team. There's no one person that can, contribute. Everybody contributes, and that's just, salute to the head coach for putting that culture there. Because if he wouldn't have, it still would have been the battle between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Absolutely.
To the point. So he was able to get these guys to get on board,
You're facts.
So,
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, D-Money, what's the key to Golden State tying this thing up at 1-1? What did Golden State have to do on Sunday to even the series up against Boston in the finals?
Well, they're going to have to figure out how to get the other guys involved. Boston, the way that Boston is attacking these guys, I think they're letting Steph Curry kind of get off.
Right.
But, I mean, he can get off all he wants, but they're going to lock down these other guys. You see how them having Robert Williams there has made a little bit of a difference too.
Yeah, they're gonna force somebody else to beat them, and these guys are just not stepping up. I'm looking at Clay; he just wasn't there.
Yeah, and the thing about Clay though is different now. Is you have a guy that's chasing Clay that can keep up with him, so it ain't just you just
That's
running
true.
away and they running through these picks. These guys aren't small either, bro. Like. As lengthwise, and they're young and they're quick. Golden State ain't that, you know what I'm saying? They're not the guys that they were during the championship runs that they were.
And one thing about this series, before we get off of this one of the biggest things that I've learned is that Boston has helped redefine the definition of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Going into this series, everyone feel like because Golden State as a team has had more finals appearances as of late, you know what I'm saying, than no one on Boston has been to the finals. Everyone has given Golden State that default title of having the experience. But when you look at what Boston went through this year, knocking off KD and Kyrie, having to win a game 7 on against the defending champions in Milwaukee, losing game 6 and then winning game 7 on the road against Miami. That's true experience as well. So I think this was a learning curve for me because the definition of experience was redefined. You can't just put it on the Warriors having it because of the title run. The shit that the Celtics are going through now is historical.
Yeah. And then you got to think about with Boston, man. Boston, these guys have been together forever, bro. Like, they're not, the continuity is through the roof. Like, they know what each other is going to do. And you can't just assume that they're just such a young team that they can't just match up experience for experience. They've seen everything. They've seen LeBron. They've dealt with a disappointment. They got put out last year with KD. And Kyrie, they got put out last year. You know what I mean?
And the year before last, they lost to Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals. So they've been close.
Yes. And it's more so now is just, getting across the hump. And that's what you're seeing from these guys. And they're not scared to go to state either. So
that's the scary part, bro. You got a first-time coach, first-year head coach. None of these players on the roster have ever experienced the finals before. And then you go into Golden State and withstand a thunderstorm by Steph Curry in the first, down by double digits in the fourth.
Was never worried.
Never.
Chooking up. They just knew heavyweight fight. That's why you see Marcus Smart, one of those games he showed up with the robe on. Yeah. And I've been going against the Celtics this whole time, but I already knew that, you got to always respect your opponent. And then, like I said, with the Celtics, man, I just knew with the lineup, man, it's going to look different. So we just got to see what Golden State is going to respond with. I'm not going to just disrespect them and think that they're going to get swept, depending, because I know Steve Kerr is a pretty decent coach. Well, he's more than decent. He's a good coach. So we just going to have to see how he responds.
Yeah, man, but I don't like the intangibles. I don't like the disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I know they sit up there and they try to praise some of these players, but in my heart, because of all the championships they won, Draymond and them do not believe that those guys who had performances last night can do it again or do it 2 more times. And I think that's disrespectful. And I think it's going to fight them.
Super, yeah. And then, like I said, Celtics size, man. The size is different, man.
It's really different, bro. It's really different. Them guys are young. They got that size and they go get it. They not no soft. It's one of the best defenses in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The other arguable best defense was the Miami Heat, and they just knocked them off in 7. So Celtics game they respect last night. Yo, game 2 is do or die for me, bro.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel the same way.
All right, let's just get into the third and final block, bro, for today. Charles Barkley, he commented on the Lakers' decision to hire Darvin Ham as their head coach. Charles has said, if your coach is the same age as your players, your team is not going to be any good. Do you agree or disagree with Mr. Barkley's comments?
I disagree with Mr. Barkley's comments because half the reason why the NBA can't evolve is because we always have these older guys that's trying to dictate where the game is supposed to go. Look at the NFL, right? NFL is starting to go in a different direction because they're getting younger coaches. These guys are the same age as the players, but respect them as coaches because of what their intellect is as far as the game that they're studying, and they're able to create an atmosphere to where these guys can be themselves. You know what I mean? So,
and not only that, these younger coaches, even in the NFL, you look at what's his name, Sean McVay. These young coaches are winning. You understand what I'm saying? They're getting the opportunities and they are making history. And not only that, you can poo-poo at Darvin Ham's age, but he played the game.
Yes.
He was a great college player.
Yeah.
He's been in some moments.
Yeah.
LeBron, I think LeBron, since he couldn't have a Coach Pop or a Phil Jackson, he's been thriving to have a coach that was a player. He got one in 2016, and what happened? In Tyloo.
Yeah.
And they went to the championship 2-3 straight years. You know what I'm saying? So I know Darvin isn't a popular name, but I mean, for the experience and what I think he'll bring, understanding what these guys are going through, I like it. Better than Mike D'Antoni and all that.
And then to debunk that, I mean, Eric Spoelstra, when he first started coaching, he was super young too.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's
look at him now.
It's the same thing, man.
Is Barkley just talking to be talking? Is this what this is? Just another one of them?
These older guys, bro. These older guys, man. They gotta. Sometimes you just can't let things go because you're already set in your ways. So it just is what it is.
Do we have? I guess we have to, but I am going to ask you: does the next generation have to respect that shit? I know you can't disrespect what Barkley and some of these guys have done on the court. But when they have these certain outlandish opinions and they've never won anything, do we have to just let everything slide just because of their longevity?
Nah, man, you just got to discern, bro. So I'm never going to disrespect Barkley's knowledge as a basketball player, but you also got to understand the game is changing and the way that the game is going. Right. So I'll respect your X's and O's when it comes to these things. But as far as we're talking about culture, everything is different, bro. Everything is different now. So I'll probably just take it as a grain of salt.
Same
what
here.
It come down to. So that is what it is.
All right, people, episode 135 of The Best of Seven is in the books. We definitely appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoy game 1 of the NBA Finals. Game 2 is going down on Sunday.
One more thing.
Sure.
When you talk about, you want to talk about the return on investment that Brooklyn got for that pick, for that number 23?
I want to hold on to that because I was hoping we can do another show in a couple of days because I wanted to know from you as well how much would missing another playoff affect LeBron James' legacy. I don't think we had that conversation, and I think that may be a conversation that could be heating up in the community of the NBA. So we'll be back at you guys pretty soon with another show. Stay safe. All right, man. Peace to my NBA family. It's your host, Seven Mitchell, with the Best of Seven Sports Talk. I just wanted to take this time out to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for so much support for the podcast. I hope you guys are really enjoying some of the outside the box angles we take, bringing you in these NBA storylines. Please don't forget to like and share. Most importantly, rate the podcast. You can follow us on social media. All the links will be in the description. And if you would like to contribute to the Best of Seven Sports Talk platform, we have merchandise available, as well as links for the merch, and donations will be all in the description. Once again, thank each and every one of you guys in the NBA community for supporting the show. This is Seven Mitchell with the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Let's talk some NBA action.